All right. You guys ready for your lives to be changed forever?
Absolutely, yes.
Nice, Adam. One of
I
you is
think so.
awake. Nice. All right. Good, 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 good. Um, so we're on this adventure to try to fix the 30 minute. How broken is the 30 minute?
It would seem to be pretty
I'm sorry,
broken.
not the 30 minute, the 3 minute survey. The 30 minute is magical. The 30 minute is magical, but the 3 minute survey and what revealed to me how broken the 3 minute survey really was. The Google Analytics. Because what did it reveal? 40,000 people went ahead and hit not this page, not this page, it hit the other page. So it hit this page. So 40,000 people hit this page, more than 40,000 people hit this page. And there's a handful of people, if that, that went ahead and actually filled it out. I mean, the only ones I was thinking in preparation for today, I'm sure you all are as prepared as I am. Like, I think, man, it's just stuck. Like, this just so. So this is the new one. And there's some, there's some, boy, I wish Adam could have jumped on and gone in and made the changes that I asked for Shuaib to do it so we could go ahead and look at the brand new one. But that's okay, I guess. It's like, okay. So here is the original document, right? But you guys aren't getting this. Why do you say that, Mark? I don't know. You're not that excited. You're not pumped up. You're not inspired. You're not like, oh, we're going to figure this thing out. Okay, so this is not just about solving the problem, but we don't have any problems. So we cross that out. Challenges of a lack of people completing the 30 minutes about life and learning how to solve, not problems, challenges in our life. Because in brain science, we don't want problems, brain science. But I've retrained my brain to look at problems as opportunities, and I get excited. My brain kicks in, and oh my goodness. Why don't people do this on their own without step by step instructions? They have, like, why do you guys think why you haven't done what I'm going to do? What I did here this morning, like 30 minutes before. All of this done was 30 minutes before. I mean, it was done in my sleep last night, but it was all documented in the last 30 minutes. Why do you think you guys didn't do what I'm doing here?
Not sure.
Thank you, Nora. One of you is asleep. So Adam let off the horse.
Maybe
Go ahead, Adam.
maybe we are not as much excited as you.
Why? You're young. You guys have your whole lives. You have your whole
Hmm.
lives in front of you.
Right.
Like, why aren't you excited?
Maybe you are in the another dimension.
But why?
Yeah, that's very good question. We should ask ourselves.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Okay. So you haven't internalized how this will help you. You, not they, you, me. I haven't internalized how this will help me succeed in all. So you guys aren't connecting dots. Okay, so made some tweaks yesterday. The screen gave to Shuaib, sleep figured out, went through this. Okay, back into place. Okay. So my brain. So what I did this morning in the 30 minutes, and then last night, what I did is I rewired my brain to. And I'm looking at my brain and how it's functioning. Pretty cool. So I start out with my driver to see the big picture. What do we want? Level one goal to get a minimum of 10% of the people to fill out the 30-minute survey. What am I really after? See, you guys don't know what drivers think like. This is what I'm stating here. Where did I go to get the 10%? The amiable and analytic. What am I really after as a driver?
You want people to come to us without having us go to them.
Right. And so, but what percentage am I after?
90%,
More,
99%, so
more,
100.
100. Like, what? That's just who I am. Shoot, I'm young. Like, I'm younger than all of you, actually. That's an interesting thought. I learned that from Dwight. Okay, but level one goals. That's why it says level one, but I'm really after 100%. Why? I don't know. What else would you be after? Like, I'm all in, baby. Okay. Then I go to my analytic to understand what needs to be done. See, the driver, I gain clarity. It's like, okay, this is what it is, and it's concrete. The analytic wants to go ahead and say it's attainable, 10%. But imagine 40,000 people. 10% is 4,000 people. Dang. Like maybe we ought to go and do 1%. Okay. Let's try to time block things based on days. So let's try to time block things based on days. Saturday. So every Saturday, this is what we do. We evaluate the efforts and results from the week and put a revised plan in place for next week. Questions?
No.
Nope.
What does that mean, Mark? Oh, thanks for asking. Well, we time block on Saturday to do this and do it really well. It's not like it's a task. It's like our very lives depend on it.
Hmm.
See, Kenny didn't connect the dots. He's not understanding the value of this. He won't get this in the academy for sure. What story do the numbers and the percentages tell me? See, what I visualize here is I visualize Nora. Visualize Nora, and Nora's talking to Lincoln. You guys ever seen a woman, a mom, talk to a 3-year-old boy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Different moms do different things, right? But
Yep.
Nora, Melissa, and Ginger Ann, I'm telling you, when they're 3-year-old, it's like they're one with them. It's like they're one connection. They're wanting to hear like everything. They want to understand. I just love that feeling I get. I just love that feeling I get. So what's the story? There's a story. There's a story the numbers are telling me. Like, and when you go before 3 years old, you go into 1 and 2, like Kaylee, and she just screams, the poor girl. When you got 6 older siblings, that's what you learn to do to get some attention. Like, somebody pay attention to me. I know I'm little, but pay attention. You pay attention to that girl. She's got some fire. So what story is this being told? Then we go ahead and on Saturdays, time blocking. So what's the story? You got to feel the energy. Like, I'm telling you, just look at moms. Just look at moms with their kids. Not when they're exhausted at the end of the day and they're just like, stay away from me, child. Like, let me have some room. Not then. But I don't know, you just want to feel it. And then you go to box one, identified targets, right? And so we go to box one. So we kick in to the 530 grid. This is burned into you. This is like tattooed into your mind, into your memory. So box one, what group people am I going to touch and communicate with? You see, in those 40,000 people, there's going to be some number of those that are going to die. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week. They're definitely going to die. There's going to be some number of those 40,000 that are going to die in the next year. And I might be able to actually stop that. There's people in there that, there's people in their marriages are getting destroyed. There's people in there with addictions, ADD, ADHD. There's people in there that are depressed, suicidal. There's people in there that are addicted like crazy. Ooh. So this could be marketing chart of accounts.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, see, I need to feel everything that group is feeling. Like Ginger Ann, she's like when you're a dad, you're not paying attention to this as much. But when you're a grandfather, you can have more time. Like, my gracious, you got tons of time. And so I'm watching and feeling like Tom Coons. He said this. I don't know if this is on Nora's list. Like, it might not be. How does he have so many things? I asked Tom and a bunch of other men too. I said, Tom, like when Ginger Ann was pregnant with Daniel, I said, what suggestions would you give me to be, an amazing grandfather? And he said, don't pay attention to your grandkids, because that's the natural, right? The natural is to watch and study the grandchildren. He said, pay attention to your daughter and your son-in-law. Watch them. Wow. So Kenny, looking at potentially, going in and becoming a police officer. So this here, if he learns to see, they're not going to train this in the academy, almost guaranteed. They're not going to train it to the level this is trained for sure.
I wonder if they have like a system to train that, or
to some degree, I'm guessing yes, but not. I mean, they do, right? Like the taser and the peppers, right? Right? Like they do have something. Like when you use this weapon against somebody else, like, yeah, you're not going to go ahead and. So they try to. Obviously, they can't shoot you, but they try to have you have empathy. So there's some amount of that, but not to the degree this is. Yeah, not to this degree. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So here we have this. So what am I gonna, and then box two, what message? See, when you understand you're the difference between life and death, like I'm getting tingles all over my entire body is full of tingles. Like it's totally from the tip of my head down to my toes, everything, every pore in my body. Like when you understand you're the difference between life and death, holy cow, does that kick the dopamine in? Like, I don't know what it's like to be drunk and I don't know what it's like to be high, but I'm guessing that it's like the feeling I get right now. But the thing is, I've done the work to earn the right to go ahead and have that feeling. I didn't take a drink or two, a shot. I didn't smoke something. Like I did some work to get that feeling naturally. Nobody teaches this. So it's like when you understand, like there's these people are human beings out here. Like these people in this group, And then you go into group 6, or you go to box 6, these groups of people, they have feelings, they have experiences, they have pain, they have hurt, they have beliefs. Like it's overwhelming. When you feel all of this stuff that I feel, it's overwhelming. It's crazy. Okay. Then you go ahead and you go to identify, and then you say what groups, and then develop and deliver a message. What kind of a message is going to draw them in? Like what's going to help them to see that I can change their life forever? Like I'm the difference between life and death. Stan going to be coming into town. He wrote me an email this morning. He said, now that I know your birthday is the 6th, like I wasn't even going to celebrate my birthday. I don't have time to celebrate. Like I just don't. Like a friend of mine asked, what do you want to do for your birthday? I'm like, nothing. No celebration, nothing. I got too much work to do. And I just, you know what? Nothing. Because Stan's coming into town. Oh my goodness. We'll celebrate my birthday. Because the blind see, literally. Like it's just like I found out the same time Kenny found out. What? That can't be true. No, it's true story. Well, if I can do that, what else can I do? And can other people do the same thing? I think they can. So then you track 100% of the leads. So you look at all of this, like you don't know which one's going to do it. Like when you have 7 kids and that you have 10 grandkids and 2 more on the way, it's like, dang, oh my goodness. I hope they have good parents. I hope they have better parents than they had, because cheapers, it's a lot. So you track 100%. So you look at all of the click-through peoples and see and recognize. Do you see recognize any of their names? Like it's the coolest thing. Like Greg Whittick. Like on Saturday, I'm studying. This was 20 years ago, probably. So on Saturday, I'm working because didn't have anything close to systems, but I had MCAT, and I'm looking through all the names. So I'm studying all the names. I'm just going through, and all of a sudden I see Greg Whittick on a Saturday. I'm like, oh, he clicked on it. He just clicked on it a few minutes ago. I'm going to call him up. Hey, Greg, this is Mark Boersma. Mark, I'm so glad you called. I've been thinking about calling you. You probably have some technology that tracks that I just clicked it, don't you? I said, I do. He's like, I'm glad you called because I've been meaning to call you. But I haven't. And I probably wouldn't have, honestly, but I'm glad you called me. I said, oh, cool. I said, why? And he's like, well, I've been feeling that, he had his own company and he was the fire chief, and of the local fire department. And he said, he was probably in his 50s, 60s. He said, everybody else is telling me to slow down. And he said, I've been thinking, who's not going to tell me to slow down? Who's going to go ahead and say, you know what, Greg, get your lazy ass off. You got to get going, buddy. Like, this is the best time. He said, and I thought of you. I knew Mark Boersma would not tell me slow down. It turned into over $100,000 in business, maybe over 200,000, and brought me a very close friend, Teresa Lecken, which Kenny knows. Nora hasn't met her yet, but maybe she will on the birthday. Maybe she'll come up and visit again. And so then we have, so do you recognize any of the names? And Shuaib, like what I love about Shuaib is he somehow gets my energy. Like it's like he's trying to, like he understands, he feels, he senses. Like, I don't know, I have this feeling that Shuaib and Kenny and I are gonna, and all of you are gonna change law enforcement how it's done all around the world. Because Shuaib was in law enforcement before he went ahead and came to Life Masteries. So Shuaib, what I'm looking for is how can we help? Because if there's like back then, I don't know, there's 100, 200 people that click. Now we have thousands of people. Like, how are we going to? So there's some type of algorithm, Shuaib, or something. And Adam, like you can do this. This is why I love that you're oh my gracious. So who of these 40,000 are going to be? Who are these 40,000? Oh, and then we can have like Anita and the ADHD and Tony and Nora and stuff, we could have them if they click on a URL link for the ADHD stuff, we can track that. Or we can track if they go ahead and they have depression or suicidal thoughts or addictions. We can track all that, put them into a group. Dang, this technology is awesome. And then we look through. Okay, now this is a 10 plus strategic strike. You know what we're doing here. So what we're doing here is this. Like, oh my goodness. Like, oh. Okay, so we've done, box 1, box 2, here, and then we go ahead and we go down here and, well, we kind of do, box 6, like, ooh. Like I was kind of laughing at myself. Like, I'm like, you're just a goofy guy, Mark. Like, you just are. Like on how this 530 grid is just a part of my body. It's an exoskeleton of my mind. And then, so we're trying to get them to ask questions, but if we can't get them to do it, we're going to do a 10 plus strategic strike. We're going to touch them every day or every week forever. Like these people, you can't run, you can't hide. You don't understand who's pursuing you. I'm pursuing you. I'm going to pursue you, 40,000 people. I'm going to pursue you. I'll be relentless. Why? Because your life matters. It just does, for crying out loud. It just does. It matters. Okay. So then we're going to do this box with consistency. So every Saturday, we're going to go through this. Like every Saturday, we're going to do this. Oh, we've got a law enforcement database. I'm pretty sure we do. And then measure results. So box 10. So we're going to measure results. And I still haven't finished because it's only 30 minutes, right? Like all this was done in 30 minutes. I mean, it was done in my sleep last night, but it was taken from my sleep last night and it was put into this morning. So here, measure all results, open engagements, Google Analytics, and anything else that can be measured. The 40,000 number gave me a lot of pain, which I'm glad for. Pain is really cool. So one small tweak, a graphic, one word. Ooh, Nora. When we say a graphic, does that trigger anything for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. So Nora is going to put on, like, there's this filing system that she put together, beautiful filing system in her office. And I think there ought to be graphics. So when I'm walking by, I can just look and I can see this little icon, this little graphic of which one is friendship, like which one is healing, which one is going to be for which one. And so anyways, she'll come around. One small tweak, a graphic, a word, how it's laid out on the screen, the question, the hook, to hook someone, the story, the message, and all of those things matter a lot. Like all of this. And then send a new message, every Saturday from the results of 1 through 6. Like every Saturday. Like every Saturday. Then Monday, Monday. Ooh. So Monday. So this is Sunday and Monday. Now, to me, this isn't work. Okay. So I'm Baptist, you raised, don't work on the Sabbath, which is actually technically Saturday. But, Baptists have changed it Sunday because Sunday, whatever. Anyways, I don't look at this, but I kind of like to keep an eye on stuff. Like Saturday when I send it out, and then Sunday I kind of keep an eye on it. I don't know. I just kind of watch what's going on. I like to go ahead and see it. And then review results to see what things are looking like. And then what do? See, up to this point, the driver analytics in there. Like that's what it is. These are my two natural things. These are things that just are natural to me. If you're not naturally a driver or you're not naturally an analytic, these things are going to be hard. So you're going to have to, you're like a handicap, you're going to have to go ahead and, okay, I need to do this. Then I switch gears on Monday into the expressive and amiable. Now you guys can see like there's actual tears and they're real, like they're not made up, but I'm aware of them. I can control them ish. And so here I'm going in. And so review the results to see what things are looking like. Use the energy of the expressive. Review all the opens, clicks, Google Analytics, and feel the energy of those who did engage and those who did not engage. Like they engaged some with the analytic because with the click because they clicked on it. So they're reading something. Do you feel the joy, the happiness, the energy, the passion of those who did engage and how their lives, will be changed forever? We want to immerse ourselves in the results, internalize what's happening in their hearts, their minds, their souls, in everyone in the group. What's going on? No, what's really going on in all areas of their lives? Do you know and feel life-changing energy? So again, women and small children are just awesome. They're just awesome. I mean, the visual I get, the visual I get is, I'm going to basketball and I'm playing basketball 3 times a week. And I don't know, one day, like I'm paying attention to the world around me because I don't know where the answers are going to come from. So I don't know where the answers are going to come from. But they're going to come because it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when and how. And I'm going to play basketball and just walking up the sidewalk. And ahead of me is this attractive young mom. So, I don't know, she's in her 20s or early 30s or something. She's very attractive. And she's holding on to her little boy that's, I don't know, 2 or 3 years old. And he's jumping up and down. He reminds me so much of Lincoln. He's jumping up and down. And his mom's holding on for dear life, like dear life, like dear life. And why? Because she knows. It reminds me of when Ginger Ann and I took Trevor and Daniel and did a road trip, and we were at a rest stop. And I'm like, Grandpa's holding on because that little bugger, he's fast. Like he can move. And he was kind of crazy. I'm afraid he's going to run out in front of a semi truck and get run over, squash. And so all of a sudden, she's holding on for dear life, and he's exhausting her. And then all of a sudden he jumps straight up in the air. He's like, Mommy, blue car. And all of a sudden, all her energy changes. Everything changes. She's exhausted. She just wants to go in and, I don't know, put him in childcare and work out or something. And he's like, Mommy, blue car. And all of a sudden, everything changes in her. She gets excited. I'm thinking, I wonder if her husband knows how to get her excited as much as the 2-year-old boy. And sadly, often not. Often not. So how do you go ahead? How do I transfer this over to all of you? I don't know. I don't think that just reading this is going to do the job. So I'm looking at the learning modalities, the visual, verbal, kinesthetic, auditory. Like I'm looking at all of your senses. How do I peak every one of your senses into something that it comes in where you internalize this and you connect this in to your very being of who you are, who you could be. Questions, thoughts? So there's a lot here, right? Dang, there's a lot here. So the amount of work and energy, I mean, this is my life work right here. Like my entire life work is right here. So we get it down into a system where you guys get it down into where it's routine. This is what you're doing. Never, even though in routines, you never forget the humanness of it and what we're really doing. Like we're really here to change people's lives forever. But to do that, we have to change. Like Tom Coons. Oh, there's another one that Tom Coons. Pretty sure Norm didn't have that. Like Tom says, you can't give something to somebody else that you don't first have yourself. Pretty interesting, right? I think so. So a lot of stuff, like a lot of really, really cool, interesting things. And all of this technology can be brought in, so I don't know. Like I think of Kenny's mom and, does she visualize like I do? she might. So she doesn't want to go ahead and go to a funeral of her son. So she naturally is going to have fear. I mean, that's what moms do. That's the job of a mom. Like, and so, he's level 4 friend. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do everything I can on my side to make sure he doesn't end up in a coffin. What do I know? I know that if I can get the database of everywhere he serves, like wherever he's serving, wherever he is, I'll get a database. I'll get a 30-mile, 1-hour mile. I'll go ahead and get the whole thing. And then I'm going to get people in here and I'm going to teach them, like, you know what? Don't resist arrest. Just don't. You just don't do that. And how do you help them heal from the other goofballs in law enforcement that have overused force and they don't feel this stuff? And, how do you change the hearts and the minds? How do you do that? Because, it's literally life and death. Like it's lit. This is not, it's not being dramatic. This is not being dramatic when it's like sometimes people say, you're being dramatic. Am I? Or do I just see so much more than everybody else sees? And, do I just see and feel what other people, don't see and feel? I don't know. So when you connect what you do every single day, like Tom Kuntz, he went ahead, this one I did share with Nora, like he went ahead and went on an aircraft carrier. You know how cool that is? You know how few people go ahead and fly into an aircraft carrier on a plane, like on a plane on a moving boat, a ship, like it's on the ocean, and it's you landing on a moving runway, and the waves are doing all of this. Like what? Like yeah. Um, and so Tom lands on this aircraft carrier, and then they give him a tour. And the average age on that aircraft carrier, I think he said, was 19 years old. Average. There's some that are going to be 30 years old or 40 years old. So there's a lot of 18-year-olds on there. And Tom goes in to this room, and there's an 18-year-old, and he, salutes Tom, and then he gives his name, rank, and serial number, I believe, and then he says, "This is my role." So it's the radar. It's the radar role. He's in the radar room. And Tom is curious. And Tom says, so Tom goes ahead and says, so what you do is you have this radar. So you have a ring and another ring and another, like a target, and a plane or a boat, something comes in and goes there. And he says, what do you do if it goes this ring? If they go through this ring? He's like, we send out a warning to them and say, don't get closer. Like, and what if it goes beyond this one? Well, we fly out and we tell them, we make sure that you don't want to go closer to us. And Tom's like, what if they go into this ring? And the 18-year-old says, I push this button. Yeah, I push this button. And then what happens? And the guy says, he dies. The person dies. And they're blown up. Like, you get this close to us, and I push this button. He says, does it go through any hierarchy? Does somebody else have? Nope. They trust me. If I push this button, that person dies. Because they've been warned. Like, don't do this. An 18-year-old. Tom shares another story, phenomenal story about where he was visiting Nassau, and the custodian was emptying trash. So this probably resonated with me because I used to be a custodian. I emptied trash for years to pay my way through college and Rosanna's way through college and to live. And so I did it for years. Emptied trash, cleaned toilets, painted, did all kinds of stuff for years. Learned leadership skills, learned so many things. And somebody said, I don't know if it was Tom or somebody else said, you know, what's your role in this? He says, I'm a custodian and I put men and women on the moon. Like I put him into outer space. Like emptying the trash, he understood where his role was important. I don't think as a leader I do that well though. I don't know. It seems like I don't do that well in that maybe. Where I don't really help people to understand their importance of their role. Their role is just as important as my role. All of our roles are equally important. I mean, I'm at the tip of the spear, so I get a lot of recognition and have a lot of pain. But everybody's role is equally important. So I don't know how to convey that to people. I don't know. Anybody have anything else? Okay. Hopefully this is helpful. Maybe it will get put into the entire training. Say, listen, like this is how Mark's fixed things. This is how he approaches. This is why he's able to fix things that nobody else can fix. I mean, he just can because it's important. Like Daniel, when he was, I don't know, 5 years old, maybe, he comes up to an event at an event we had in Annapolis where there's a lot of planes and the Navy and shipyards and all kinds of stuff. And he goes up and we have the big dinner before the big event, like what we'll have with Stan. We'll go out to eat. I mean, it'll be a big thing. Like he'll be a rock star. And Daniel goes around. He's 5 years old. He goes around with his little piece of paper, and he's like, Mr. Jorge, what's your biggest challenge? And Jorge looks at him and smiles and says, Daniel, that's a really fascinating question. Like, why would you ask that? He says, because my grandpa says that's an important question to ask. How does a 5-year-old get what adults don't get? I don't know. Hopefully this has been helpful. Have an amazing day. Thanks, everyone.